You kept asking where I was, but never when the silence started speaking. Never when the weight settled into the room. Never when the air changed. Never when something inside you already knew. You waited until everything cracked open, until the noise faded, until there was nothing left between you and the truth you avoided. Now you hear it not as comfort, not as peace, not as something gentle, but as something you cannot ignore. This is not rage. This is not chaos. This is not revenge. This is what happens when warnings are ignored long enough. They become the foundation when every line crossed disappears under your own feet, when every excuse turns into habit. You used to think consequences arrived like storms, loud, destructive, impossible to miss. But the real moment is quiet. It settles in your chest. It changes the air around you. It turns silence into pressure, and suddenly nothing feels distant anymore. You built yourself around things that could not last, around illusions that survived only because they were never challenged. But everything false has a limit, and when it reaches it, it does not explode. It reveals itself slowly, piece by piece, until there is nowhere left to hide in your own reflection. That is what no one prepares you for. Not the pain, not the fear, but the clarity. The moment you see yourself without the stories, without the distractions, without the noise. And once you see it, you cannot return to ignorance. Something changes forever. Truth does not chase people, it waits. Silent, patient, unmoving, while every choice builds toward what is unavoidable, and eventually the weight of it stands in front of you. Real, unchanged, impossible to ignore, not to destroy you, but to remove everything that was never real. That is why it feels heavy, because part of you already knows what cannot survive this moment. Most people run from it. They bury it. They fill their lives with noise, anything to avoid sitting alone with themselves. But silence always returns, and when it does, it asks the only question that matters. What remains when everything false is gone? Not the image, not the performance, not what you showed the world. Only what is real, because in the end, that is the only thing that survives.